This conversation begins with the question, what happened? I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was informing him that our lives have been altered forever, no matter how you look at it. We all have our different perspectives, but my perspective is different from yours because I live in this city, you live in another city, I'm in this house, you're in another house. So we all have different perspectives based on location, proximity, in our situations. But our lives have been altered. 2020 will be a year that we look back upon, all of us, and we will have still more questions than we have answers. I don't know if anyone can answer all the questions that we have. You know, think about it. Who do you know that's used to being sheltered in? Who do you know that's used to practicing social distancing? None of us. We've never had that because we in America, we're entitled. You know, we're privileged. I mean, we've never had boundaries and limitations, if you will, put on our lives. And so this is not normal for us. But when you look at the big picture, it's a blessing to still be here. We pray for those who've lost their lives, and we pray for those family members who are left behind. But life goes on. And what I want to share with you is that we have what I call reference points. And that's why this is so abnormal to us, because reference points are like birthdays and anniversaries and vacations that we plan every year. We have all those reference points that we don't have right now. Now we've tried to make do. We've tried to do drive-by parades and be creative, and those things are nice. But it's different. It's not the same. It's not what we're accustomed to. And so when I ask the question, what happened? I'm asking you, what happened? You know, there are things in your life that you're not sharing with people, but some things have happened to you. Yeah, we all have something that we're not sharing. We can't quite place what's going on, but we know that we're just not the same anymore. Something has moved inside of us. Something has moved in the atmosphere that has us just a little bit out of place. And so I want to talk through that. I want to talk to you regarding that. Because no matter how you look at it, it's like being in a car accident. And you've got 4 people in the car. And the police officer comes up to you and he's asking for everyone's information or everyone's input on what happened. And everyone in the car has a different perspective based on the seat they're sitting in, because I see it from my seat from a different point of view. I see it from a different perspective, if you will. And so when he's asking the question, that's what you get. You get different perspectives because of where I'm sitting at, from my point of view. Yes, from my advantage point in this vehicle. That's what COVID-19, the coronavirus, has done to us. We all see it from a different perspective, even though we're going through the same season. I told you we will have more questions than answers, and I don't know if we'll ever get those questions answered. But this season, please make sure that you don't let things happen to you versus happening through you. And that's a big piece of this message, is that we all are going through, so something is happening to all of us, okay? It's happening, whatever it is, whatever your issues might be. But don't house it. Don't hold on to it. Yes, don't cuddle it like it's a baby. Don't cuddle like it's a best friend. It's not. It's pain. It could be depression. It could be fear. But you can't hold on to it. God never intended for us to hold on to anything. He always intended for us to have something come to us, or it happened to me so that it could happen through me. Did you get that? Yeah, life will come and life will go. But you're not supposed to be trying to hold on to things that come to you. That's where pain and depression, that's where mental illness come from. It's because we hold on to stuff, we get stagnant, and we won't release it so that we can receive something else. You see, you keep holding on to it, and God keeps giving you things. You've got so much stuff to hold on to. You don't have arms big enough to hold on to all the things that will come to your life. But if you let things flow through you, guess what? That's growth. What a blessing. You see, some of us don't understand the principles of leaving and cleaving and cleaving and leaving. You know, things will come to you to cleave to you for a moment, but they must go through you to leave you, because that's what needs to happen. And so when we deal with this season, just remember, you were never supposed to cleave to this season. You were never supposed to cleave to these issues. You were always supposed to be letting these issues go through you. Yes, learning from them, yes. Being aware of them, yes. Holding on to them, no. No, you're always supposed to be learning and discerning and moving them through you and through your family. People who will hold on are people you need to be very careful with. Those people need help. Yes, we were never intended to cleave to anything except for your spouse. Everything else will always be leaving you, even if you're not leaving it. Yeah. So this message brings us to the point where the focal point of this message is it happened to me so that it could happen through me. It didn't happen to me so I could hold on to it. No, 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 no. Like it's that talent that the servant held on to for a lifetime and was basically punished in the end. No, 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 no. It came to me as a gift. It came to me as a call. It came to me as purpose and passion, and I moved it on through me so others could enjoy it. That's what we're talking about. So when you look at this season, when we look back at this coronavirus, when we look back at this COVID-19 pandemic, yes, it's here. No one wants it, but it's here. How do we deal with it, though? How do we process it is what's important. I pray that you process it the right way. Yeah, let it happen to you because you're here. It's going to happen, but let it happen through you at the same time. Back in 2014, there was an American biographical musical drama, if you will, film about the life of the legendary James Brown. And in this movie, there's a scene where James is talking to his contemporary, Little Richard. They're having this conversation, and James Brown asked Little Richard, "What do you see in me?" And Little Richard didn't answer the question. Instead, he asked James, "What happened to you?" He says, "I know what happened to me, sugar." You know how Little Richard talks. But he asked James the question, "But James, what happened to you?" You see, some of us are worrying what happened to us, that we can see it. From the outside, everyone can see your pain. They can see your brokenness. Little Richard could see James' pain. He could see his brokenness. And so he asked him, what happened to you? I'm asking you the question right now. What happened to you? Yeah. Who hurt you? Who harmed you? Who did you trust that violated your trust? You see, that's what some of us are doing. We're holding on to things that happened to us because we didn't allow them to happen through us. And when you do that, you're asking for trouble. So follow me here. We all have something that happened to us. We all do. No one goes unscathed. No one goes untouched. We all have something that happened to us. And we start worrying that thing. Yeah, we start worrying that thing that happened to us because it happened to us and we didn't let it happen through us. And don't get me wrong, everything is not just that simple. I got you. I understand. Some things we have to work our way through. And believe me, we should. But don't let it happen to you and stay stagnant within you. Don't hold on to it to where, watch this, you're worrying it, but watch, it betrays you and starts worrying you. Be very careful letting anything worry you. Oh my gosh, especially without your permission. You have to be very careful. Yeah, stop carrying it and stop letting it try to carry you. No, let it come to you and through you. There's a movie that's called The Edge of Tomorrow, starring Tom Cruise as Major William Cage. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie before, but William Cage is an officer in the military, and he's assigned to a mission because there's invisible aliens from outer space, if you will, and no army on earth can defeat them. And so they put William Cage, Tom Cruise, they put him into what they call a time machine, if you will. And it goes back in time every day, and it keeps starting the day back over, and it starts the day back over. And so Tom Cruise is trying to figure out a way to kill the enemy. So every day he gets up, he goes and tries to fight the enemy, and they always kill him. Bam, they get him. And so they put him back in this time machine, and he starts back over again. And he's trying to find a way to kill the enemy. So he starts the day back over. It's like it's repeating itself every single day. That's some of our lives. We get up every day and we start the day back over the same way we just finished the day. That's what we do. We don't know how to move on. We don't know how to reset, if you will. So we wake up in the morning and guess what? We're carrying the same issues from yesterday into today. No, we haven't left them there. We brought them with us. That's what's happening with us. And I don't want this to happen with this whole COVID-19, that it happened to us. And when COVID is over, Because you didn't let it happen through you, you still hold on to it. Watch this for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to have a bigger voice than that inside of your own head. But that's the conversation that's coming up. You ever been on the phone with someone, or you met someone, and all they talk about the first time you meet them is what happened to them. I mean, just go on and on and on. And the first time you meet them, you're okay because you want to get to know them, get to understand them. So the first time you meet them, you hear all that stuff. You're kind of curious about it. You're inquisitive, so you hear it. Then the second time you talk to them, they're doing the same thing, talking about the same thing. And then you get on down the road a couple of years, and you just have the same relationship, and you talk about some other things, but no matter what you talk about, this other stuff that they were talking about, what happened to them, continues to come up. And it's because, guess what? Because they're sick behind it. There are two columns, if you will, in any conversation, two columns. One column is a column of what happened to me. That's a column of defeat. That's a column of your past and you being stuck in it. There's another column of what happened through me. That's a column of deliverance. That's a column of you using whatever happened to you to fuel you to keep moving through it. That's a powerful column to be in. I pray you're there. I pray you're in your what happened through you column. You get pregnant in high school. And so you have this what happened to me season. Now, you're defeated because you're stuck in it if you don't watch out. But let's just say you got pregnant in high school, middle school, and it happened to you, but you had enough faith, you had enough belief to let it happen to you and through you. You still went to college. You still became a business person because guess what? It happened to you, but you didn't get stuck in it. You didn't let it happen to you without letting it happen through you. You see the difference? Some of you had an abortion. Some of you had a miscarriage. Some of you got laid off. Yeah, some of you are heartbroken by some guy or some young lady who left you. Some of you are single parents. Some of you are in poverty. Some of you didn't get the promotion. Yeah, some of you feel like you weren't born on the right side of the tracks. Yeah, and some of you, let's be for real, some of you still feel like men are dogs and women are trifling. And some of you just, well, watch this. You never got love from your mother or from your father. And so you're in the column of what happened to you. But oh boy, oh Jesus, if you could ever get in the column of letting it go through you, of what happened through you, you're in the column of deliverance. And that's where you need to be. That's where God wants you to be. God wants it to come to you because things happen in life. You get yourself into some tough situations. But have you ever thought about making sure it keeps moving through you? If it moves through you, you get in the column of what happened through you, which is a column of, hey, I use it for energy. I use it to build off of. There are some people who are from single parent household, some people who had abortion or miscarriage, some people who just been trifling. There are some people who got injured and something sidetracked them and derailed their careers. But guess what? They stayed in the column of that it happened through them. And they were very successful. That's where you should be. That's where we all should be. Yeah, COVID-19, it's happening to us, but guess what? It needs to flow through us. Don't let your growth be stunted by what happened to you. No, please. Keep growing. Yeah, keep believing. If you get stuck in the column of what happened to you, that's mental illness. Yes, every time I get on the phone with you, you're talking about the same thing. You're always complaining about the same thing. You've got a problem. You need help. You need a lot of help. You're cleaving to that what happened to you. You never start leaving it. Oh, you've got to leave that thing. And I pray today that this message will touch your spirit to where you will start leaving instead of cleaving to that type of stuff. There's only one thing the Lord asks you to cleave to, and that's your husband. That's your wife. That's it. Everything else you should be leaving. You should not be cleaving. Yeah. What happens to you versus what happened through you is very important. There's a story in the Bible about Joseph in Genesis 37, verse 6 through 11. You can read it when you get time. But we all know the story about Joseph. Most of us do, that Joseph had favor with his father. And his brothers were jealous, and so they tried to kill him. They decided to go ahead and throw him in a pit. And then they sold him into slavery. So Joseph winds up in Potiphar's house, where he is immediately receives favor from Potiphar. Isn't it something? Favor just begets favor. And favor is not fair, but when someone's got favor in their life, they just have favor all over the place. Potiphar's wife betrays Joseph and said he tried to mess with us, so he got thrown into prison. Joseph is a dreamer, though, and he can interpret dreams. Pharaoh needs someone to interpret his dream, so they pulled Joseph out of prison to interpret his dream. Joseph found favor with Pharaoh. He becomes the second in command of all Egypt. You see that? See, Joseph didn't let what happened to him stick to him. He kept letting what happened to him move through him. Joseph took lemons and made lemonades. What are you doing with your issues in life? He took the best of a situation, he took the best of a bad situation and made it a blessing for him, and in the end for his family. Yeah, his brothers betrayed him. They did. Have you ever thought about how Joseph must have felt? I mean, at the beginning, he probably thought his brothers were playing. You know how brothers are. Brothers are always playing around. So Joseph probably thought, these boys just pulling my leg. But when they threw him in that pit, he realized that they weren't pulling his leg. He realized his brothers hated him that much that they were willing to kill him because of the favor he had with his father. Just think of the depression, the issues inside of Joseph. I mean, walking through the wilderness as a slave, going to Potiphar's house. Do you know all the thoughts in his mind of how much nobody loved him, no one cared for him? But he kept on moving. He didn't let it stick to him. He let it go through him. I pray that you're in a season where things will go through you and not just stick to you. I just pray you there. I pray that you don't let things get to you to the point to where you watch this. You got a bucket list you're writing for who you're going to pay back. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Go with me to Romans 12 and 19. Let me tell you why. You don't need a bucket list. Joseph didn't have one. And if anyone in the Bible should be allowed to have revenge besides Jesus, oh, it's definitely Joseph. But Joseph didn't. Joseph didn't get a bucket list to pay someone back. This is what the Bible tells us in Romans chapter 12, verse 19. Paul tells us in verse 19, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves. Hello, Joseph. You don't need a bucket list. Avenge not yourself. Don't put any energy toward it, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, it says what? It is written. God has got a list. Vengeance is mine. You can't have a better person on your side who will take care of business than God. Vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. So remember, when you have an issue, don't get a bucket list. No. Don't look for a payback list. Make sure you take care of business. It happens to you so it can get through you. Sibling rivalries. Just think about it for a moment. How in the world do you have something against your siblings for a long time? Yeah, I know that some of your family members might have thrown you in the pit like they did Joseph, verbally or maybe physically. We call it throwing you under the bus. Yeah, sometimes verbally, we just throw our family members under the bus without even thinking about it twice. We just do it as if they don't have any feelings, as if their feelings don't matter. Well, they do matter. I pray that whatever's been going on in your family, you have enough sense to realize that that issue is coming to you, but it needs to go through you. You can't hold on to somebody else's issues. No, that's their issue. Let them hold on to it. Let it come through you. Yeah, love your family. Yeah, everyone has a family story of some some discontent. Everyone has one of some disenchantment, some heartaches. Yes, foul play, if you will. But love your family. Yeah, be like Joseph. Joseph welcomed his brothers back into his life. He didn't have this bucket list of who he wanted to kill, who he wanted to hurt, no, who he wanted to get even with. No, he didn't, because he allowed it to happen to him and then through him. There's a statement we always make, the devil made me do it. When was the last time you had what I call an honest checkup, honest assessment of yourself, a heart-to-heart checkup with you, to where you ask yourself, Donnie, what am I doing? What am I getting myself into? When was the last time you put on your big boy britches, your big girl britches, and you dealt with you? Yeah, not being busy working, not busy all over the place doing little things. No. When have you just set yourself down and realize there's some stuff that happened to you that you've been holding on to? There's some stuff that you need to pass through you. Yeah, you've been cleaving to some stuff that needs to be leaving you. I pray that you get it straight. I pray that you know there's some stuff you have to leave behind. You can't carry everything with you. I heard the statement once said that a smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from others' mistakes. I pray that you know that that's the best way to learn, is watching, observing others. Because if you can see them going through, you can see them getting through, guess what? It will help you out as well. You know when you've seen growth in a person. Because when you're talking to them, they don't have that same conversation that they used to have. That stuff that happened to them, you can see that they don't talk about it. That means that they allowed it to happen through them. See, that's growth. And that's where we all want to be. We want to be in a position that when we talk to people, that when we talk to you, that you can see that, hey, guess what? That thing don't reside in me anymore. Yeah, God never intended for stuff, for things, for issues in your life. He never meant for that stuff to reside in you. No. You were meant to keep it moving. You were meant to take that stuff, to take those issues in life and to let it flow through you as you continue to grow from it. That's what you were meant to do. You were never meant to hold on. Stop cleaving, start leaving. You know when your life is changing, when you're no longer stuck into what happened to you, but what happened through you. Because your conversation changed. You stop allowing things to stand on top of you, and you start standing on top of things. Be like Joseph. Joseph's brothers conspired to kill him. Then they threw him in a pit. Then they allowed him to be sold into slavery. And then they lied to his father that some wild beast had killed him. Be like Joseph. Joseph didn't have a grudge zone. He didn't have a bucket list of revenge. No, Joseph allowed what happened to him to flow through him. And that's why he was blessed. Stop allowing things to get stuck and stagnant in your life. Remember Romans 10:9. Confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord. And believe in your heart, it's a matter of a heart. Believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead. And guess what? You too shall be saved. And remember, God is God. Be blessed.